up, everybody? Tuesday, 7 p.m. It is time for the Crypto Vet Podcast. We got Marvin Lockett on, returning guest. We're talking about the things that he's been doing since his last appearance in October, and we'll see what's going on with the guys. What's up, Al?
What's up, bro? Doing good, man. Just living the dream, right? Another day, another penny out here in these streets. But no, doing good, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be on the show this week. I'll kick it over to Matt.
Well, it's Tuesday. Welcome in. Hello, Miss Cobbs. Mom's in the house. We appreciate you guys joining us today. It's another Tuesday. We're here. We're ready to talk to you, and we can't do it to get into it with our guests. So without further ado, let's bring the guys in and let's go through this thing.
Yeah, man. What's going on, Miss Cobbs? Big shout out to Miss Cobbs. Miss Cobbs sent me a text earlier in the week, and last week we've been conversing back and forth in text, and I really appreciate you, Miss Cobbs. Thanks for giving all those words of encouragement. It meant a lot to me, so thank you very much.
There you go.
My boy Bob's in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob here. Yep, there he goes. What's up, Bob?
What's been going on this week?
Bob will never admit it, but I think me and Bob became best friends. We be chit chatting. I don't want to admit it. Bob's gonna be mad in a minute, but I think he wants a shirt off hug. I think he wants to hug, and I'm gonna give you a hug, Bob.
He wants a shirt off hug.
Yeah, chest to chest, abs to abs. Well, man, dad bod to dad bod, but it's all good.
There you go. Nice.
Still going good, bro.
Currently going on is Kentucky and Tennessee are playing. It's at halftime right now, but
playing what?
Kentucky Tennessee playing basketball.
Oh, basketball.
Again, like I said earlier, a bunch of ugly ass dudes. Man,
hey, perfect segue. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Ugly ass dudes.
Dang.
Well, I was talking about it earlier, and I just kind of want to bring this up. And my brother's in the building. What's up, White Mike?
Yeah, he wants to have a dad bod hug with you naked, like when y'all was kids.
White Mike is in the building. What's up, White Mike? And so I made an observation today. I was watching TV, watching Sports Center, and I noticed that in the world of sports, there are some beautiful athletes, in particular, right? The sport of soccer. Everybody's beautiful in soccer. Football, good-looking athletes. The ugliest athletes on the planet play in the NBA. I'm sorry if you're an NBA fan, but those are some ugly dudes. Anthony Davis, those some ugly dudes. So I just want to make a point to all the parents out there, right? Because as a parent, you all think your kids are beautiful, but y'all really know, deep down inside, you know if you got an ugly kid. You do. You know. You see it the day they were born. You're like, it ain't going to get no better. That eye's not going to point straight. Like, this is not going to happen. You know, if you got an ugly kid. So if you have an ugly child and you're out there as a parent, you're like, man, but I love my baby. I love my baby in all his glory, her glory. They're ugly. You know they are. Like redheaded kids, y'all ugly. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. But if you got an ugly ass kid, push them towards sports like basketball, table tennis, darts, anything that where it's gonna be a dimly lit room where they can shine as an athlete and not let them ugly kids.
Who's got the prettiest people? What got
soccer,
prettiest?
bro. Soccer. Everybody has soccer.
I don't know, man.
Football does too. Quarterbacks,
tennis players, bro.
I'm saying, tennis, but I'm saying like as a whole, like the amount of people that play the sport. Football, quarterbacks. Yeah. I think it's a prerequisite to be beautiful. I mean, Jalen Hurts, good looking. Tom Brady, you got to be. I mean, outside of Patrick Mahomes, he's like the one-off, and his parents probably should have pushed him to the NBA. That's an ugly dude. Like his haircut's ugly, his face ugly, all that. But I'm just saying, if you got ugly kids out there, ugly children, please don't make the mistake of putting your kids in soccer or baseball or football. Push your kids towards the NBA. Just want to throw that out there. See, my son, look, I have two horrible-looking boys. Put them both on Call of Duty. My son, my brother knows. Our kids ain't beautiful. We know. We
You're
fell
lying,
short.
dude. You have one that everybody's like, "Are you sure that's your kid?"
Probably not. That's my point. So.
I played all sports, so I'm a little bit ugly and a little bit,
So I got both my brothers. So I got both my brothers on here tonight. My White Mike's on, and my little brother, our baby brother Brett on, who was actually
Robert with my first wife.
who is actually my little brother Brett. Out of me and Mike and all of us, he's probably the ugliest brother, but he's cool though. So I'm just saying,
that's the way it is.
Nah, he's good.
That's like the bar there. The uglier you are, the cooler you are. The
Yeah.
You are the most unclear. Yeah,
There's got to be there's a mathematical equation for that. Got to be. But anyways, if you got ugly kids from Triple Threat Vets, our hero is saying put your kids in basketball because NBA players are hideous and they can shine in that sport. Look at Anthony Davis.
Well, Miss Cobb said that she don't have no ugly kids, and since I'm an honorary Cobb kid, and this is her other child.
Oh, her kids. Scott's beautiful, bro.
Scott's a beautiful man. I'm a beautiful man. So yes, Miss Cobbs, you do have some beautiful children.
Oh, when Scott's in the room, I know at least I might be second best looking if Scott's around. But when Scott's not around tonight,
that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, if Scott's in the room, everybody's looking at Scott.
It's the story that you tell everybody at the bar, so you can say whatever you want.
Hey, he went to the rodeo, and everybody was looking at wanting his autograph, like Scott was somebody special. Like, man,
I was walking around with him the whole time. Yeah. Hey, aren't you? Like, can you sign? And, nah, man. By the end of our walk around Energy Stadium, I was acting as security.
Look, hey,
no, he's Josh not who you think he is.
Scott is pretty. Hey, he a pretty dude. I'll give him credit. He dyes his beard and he whites back to front, but I mean, he's cool other than that.
What's up, Josh Hammond? Scott is pretty though. Yeah, that's for sure.
There you go.
Well, hey, we got a returning guest coming on this time, Marvin Lockett. He was Army veteran, motivational speaker, talked about some nonprofit stuff. We really enjoyed having him fill in as a guest on a partial episode last time. So what'd y'all think about the last time he was on?
I thought it was great. I was excited to have him come back. Like I was like, this guy has so much energy. He's doing so much for the veteran community. His story alone is impressive. And just what he does and who he is. Like I was pumped to get him back on. I was hoping it's phenomenal. And I was hoping he would have came on sooner. So
yeah, I remember y'all telling me we got him booked back on the show pretty much like 5 minutes after we went off the air last time. So.
Yeah.
He's stuff. Anyway, let's bring him on. Marvin Lockett.
Bring him on. Because we need Marvin, the man who's back on the show, to give us his take on are the ugliest kids in basketball.
Yeah, my kids are in soccer, so yeah.
Beautiful, bro. I bet your kids are like little baby Adonises. They already got 6 packs at like the age of 7.
He's got some muscles. Little David Beckhams running around.
Cristiano Ronaldo's little Cristiano Ronaldo's running around. I'm telling you, they in soccer. He said it. It's
soccer, man. It's soccer. They ain't playing basketball now.
Which is crazy, though, right? Because think about the most of the people that play soccer. They come from those from like countries that aren't like the United States, right? Like they come from countries where in some places they got to struggle to get there. They get on that soccer field and you're like, "There's no way that dude struggled." Then you see like a video where they grew up. You're like, "Damn, no wonder that dude was trying to get out of the whatever he was in." You know what I mean? It's crazy.
No wonder he looks that way. Because generally, from bad situations comes some beautiful people.
There you go. There you go, brother.
Makes sense. Well, welcome back.
No, thank you. And you guys are motivating, man. As I was listening, I was like, oh man, these guys are hyping me up. I said, this is good shit.
That's what we aim to do. We aim to please, right? Aim to please. And y'all can take that whichever way you want. And it'll be true, however you want to take it. So, last time you came on, we got to learn a little bit about you, but since you're like an official guest this time, we would like you to kind of go through and give everybody a rewind. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up, where you're from, and take us leading up to when you joined the military.
All right. So, hey, Marvin Lockett. Hey, I actually grew up, I'm an Army brat. But I grew up in Michigan, right outside Detroit, in a place called Southfield. That's where I graduated high school. Detroit is still Detroit. I mean, it's rough in some places, but it's actually pretty cool in others. But that's one of the reasons I actually probably joined the military too, is because 3 of my buddies that was in high school with me, we all decided to join together because we figured we wasn't going to be doing nothing good in that city because there's nothing but trouble sometimes. So one of the problems was we all joined, and I call it a problem because we joined this force or the MOS we wanted based off of how we felt about certain things. So me and my buddy Ronell, we joined the military police because we were trying to figure out why law enforcement would be picking on people and why they just pulling them over for nothing and lying because I got pulled over, in the wrong neighborhood. And they was up there talking about how I was hitting trash cans. It wasn't even on a trash day, I don't think they realize men don't like to hit trash cans. We like our cars. That's the prized possession. So I joined the military police corps, man, and so did Ronell, and then also my buddy joined the artillery and then he went off to special forces. So, all of us retired, man, living a life. I love the military. I, did my 20 years in 15 days. I always add that 15 days because that was the roughest part, trying to figure out what you're going to do after you get out.
Yeah, man. So I will tell you this. All guys love their cars, but if you're in Texas, you just get in the back of the truck and swing a bat as you're going down the street. Like, so you're gonna wreck the car, you're just trying to hit a home run. That's all. That's the difference.
Hey, if I was to go to Texas and somebody would introduce me to that, I'd have to, hey, when in Texas, do as the Texans.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you got to, bro.
But at least then, if I get pulled over, I can say I did it.
Yeah, right. There you go. Like in Texas, the truck is the status symbol. Ain't no car. When you see people driving around in Texas, it's nothing but trucks. That's why they have the Texas edition of trucks, right? They just make them bigger, and they take that serious. You've seen some. Al Hero got a little truck. That's all right though. It's old.
I got that
the thing's beat up.
Baby. Hey, when that baby gets me to point A to point B.
Yeah, it's a 150, but you had to ice the driveway because that thing's so busted. You was afraid it was gonna slide down because there was ice in the driveway.
Look, Daddy ain't got a car payment, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
How many times you had to push that thing to get it started?
But just a few. I mean, who cares?
Man, that's messed up. We talk about a man's truck.
Hey, my brother said he tried Texas. He tried, got a DUI.
Well, that's what happens.
Took him a DUI with him. And he was like you, Marvin. He was coming out of the wrong neighborhood. They pulled him over, and my brother was like, "Yes, sir, I've been drinking." Like, I probably should
in Texas, they like honesty. Yes, we do. You're going to jail.
In the military police corps, man, when we say once you get pulled over, if you're already in trouble, you might as well go big. You should have said, "Nah, I ain't drinking. You got to figure this out."
Yeah. I'm gonna make you do the work tonight. We gotta put that work in.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go. So let's get there then. So I think one thing that would probably help everybody from what you were just describing, I think we talked about a little bit last time, but you said that last 15 days in the military was the hardest, right? Because you're trying to figure out what you're going to do. I can't believe you waited till 15 days left to try to figure out what you wanted to do. But I mean, everybody does what they do. So walk us through, like, how was the transition? What kind of things for you were the hardest parts, and what kind of things would you like to talk about and kind of share your story on that? Like your transition, what was hard, what roadblocks you hit, things like that.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I don't care whatever soldiers hear this right now. Hey, do not wait to that last minute. Do not plan for your education at the last minute, because you're going to feel like you're behind the 8 ball and you're just about to get knocked into a hole. You never think about this stuff in day one of being a private. You only think about making some money, which is very little, and then, hanging out in the barracks with people. You never think about saving money. You never think about freaking education to get out. So, hey, when I got to that, it was year 18. I knew I was retiring. I knew I was about to go ahead and take that trip to the other side. But as a soldier does, I'm always dragging my knuckles and doing things that the Army wanted me to do and never take care of myself. So that's big. You got to learn how to take care of yourself and not take care of yourself in the last year or 15 days. A lot of us tend to wait on doing medical. That's a big hurdle that people need to do. Because I never took care of my body, but I never told nobody I took care of my body. I just kept telling the Army, I'll do it. But guess what? The Army keeps rolling on. I heard that shit somewhere. And when they roll on, they roll without you, believe it or not. You might be a soldier for life, but that's just a slogan. That's just a little thing to keep you motivated to say, I'm still a soldier once I retire. Nah, man, they're gonna walk away from you just like an ex-wife will. And guess what? Hey, if they don't owe you money, they ain't giving you shit. So that 15 days is trying to, that year and everything else, you should be trying to figure out your medical, get all that stuff done so that you can get your VA claim. VA claim is the most important thing walking out that door, because at the end of the day, I was already getting a half-base pay based off of retirement after 20 years. And I knew that they owed me that, okay? But that VA check that helps me out to supplement all those injuries that I got, that is what you're really shooting for. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I'm not hurt. I didn't get shot or I didn't get blown up." It's not about if you get blown up. It's not about if you get shot. It's about all those other things. The best description is this: back in the day, the best kind of little car you want to get was a Dodge Neon. Y'all remember that car? The Dodge Neon. Mm-hmm.
I remember the neon.
Hey,
Yep.
I had a blue one, 2-door, three subwoofers, all the little fixings on it. And after years, that neon didn't look the same it did when I pulled it off the lot. It had scratches, dings, crack in my windshield. Somebody stole my speakers, and then I had to get a new deck because it just didn't work well. My struts were bad, my wheels needed change. That's the same thing your body goes through for 20 years. Hey, you need to take care of yourself. Hey, report everything. I'm gonna tell every veteran, if your pinky hurt or if it don't got circulation, you should be reporting that to the medical people and getting it recorded.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to prove something without having paperwork. All right. So getting a job, that's the other hurdle. Hey man, hey, I was shitting bricks. You know why? Because I applied for so many jobs. I have so many qualifications based off the military, police, physical security, sexual assault response coordinations, things like that. But nothing was kind of hitting the way I want, like I figured it would. Like as soon as I apply, I can get a job. That was stressful because I had not even a toddler. Shoot, I had a newborn, kind of a toddler. And trying to figure out what am I going to do next? How do I get a paycheck? I still had 2 preteens, right? That's I was like, what? How do I make sure I put food on the table, and how do I make sure I get their medical bills paid and everything else? So that, along with that medical stuff, was probably the hardest. I won't lie to you. My transition away from the military in terms of how I felt, it wasn't very hard. It wasn't hard at all. I think I had turned myself into a civilian prior to my retirement because I knew it was coming. I was retired on active duty, but still working. So
there you go. So let's back up a second. So let's unpack a couple of the things that you just brought up there. So the first thing would be, we all know the military trains you to do your job. They train you to do that well. They expect you to do the job, and they expect you to do it when they need you to do it. So when they tell you to go, you go, right? So that's the first part. And we all know the stories that everybody tells and the reasons that we make up on why we don't say anything because we want to get promoted. It's amazing when you look back on it now, that extra $250 a paycheck, boy, that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered, right?
Yeah.
But so coming out, I know that you document it, talk about it, do all those things. What do you think we could do better as a service while you're in, right? We were all in. Now it's new service. It is what it is. But what could be done better to help people understand that, right? Because here's the one key I want to put to that. I remember when I was getting out, I had a CMC, a mass chief, same as a command sergeant major, was like, hey, when you get out, this is what you got to do. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Now that I'm out, I'm like, God damn, that dude wasn't even out of the Navy telling me what to do. And I was listening like he knew what to do when you're out. And he was still in. So he was still going to get paid. So understanding that, what could we do better? What could we do better to tell these guys to document the stuff, go through it, let you know that it's okay to say that you have an issue? Like, what do you think we could do better there?
Hey, start reassuring people. All right. So a lot of people don't feel like they support it when they go to sick call or the hospital. People always think you're trying to get out of things. As leaders, as your battle buddies, hey, stop trying to freaking talk down to them because they go because something hurts. If something hurts, it hurts. It's not us to judge. And that's the problem. We sometimes, like I used to have cats tell me, oh man, we're going to go, I'm going to go to sick call because I don't want to go on a run. Like sometimes legitimately there was a reason why they didn't want to go on that run because something happened to them. But I ain't gonna lie, I got caught in a situation. Sure as shit. I used to telling people, man, you just getting out of that run, man. Why don't you get on over here and run? You know what I'm saying? Stop being a little punk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but at the end of the day, what I did, and if that person did go to medical, I cheated them. Yeah. I cheated them out of recording something that became worse of an injury in the future. So what we need to do is start reassuring these individuals, hey, look, man, it's okay. Go ahead and go. Hey, work is going to be here. And when you get back, hey, you get back on the job. But hey, our leaders, they got to get better. You can't redeploy soldiers like that. That's one of my major issues, man. You can't redeploy soldiers that been in a hot zone like Afghanistan and Iraq in the earlier years, and then get them back. And then 3 months later, you say, all right, y'all good. Hey, get back to work. Do the regular things. It doesn't work. The mind doesn't work that way. how people interact with each other, how they find out symptoms about PTSD, things like that. That comes with the time of going through situations, being back out of that element they just was in. So, hey, we got to get better. I to this day, I'm still upset and mad that how they pushed the 170th Military Police Company back out into the streets, knowing it was one of the roughest deployments to Afghanistan and Kandahar they've ever had. And even to this day, man, I'm counting like 5 cats, lives gone. I'm counting at least 3 that have taken their lives early. All right. 1 is passed away because of, going into drugs and stuff like that because he's not coping well. All right. And there was no one to probably be able to identify it because there was no chance. Hey, we just got back, get back on the road. And these were military police. So you're talking about somebody who had a gun, who always had it armed, ready to go to take lives if needs be to protect his brothers and sisters. And then you put them back on the road 3 months later after 3 weeks of block leave. We talked to some MFLAC or some SRP official talking about, yeah, I'm good, because we're not going to tell you we're not good because we don't want to be ostracized. All right. And then we wonder how come we got people in domestic violence cases. We wonder why they drinking and driving, why they abusing narcotics. It is their choice, but why are they making those choices?
Yeah.
What brought them there? And until we start understanding that as leaders and as our battle buddies and start pushing people and say, hey, man, you need to go. And we're going to continue to have these problems. We're going to continue to have some situations.
So Marvin, you think there's a line, right? You think there's like a line, right? Because I mean, you touched on it, and I remember I remember doing the same thing, thinking like these people are just trying to get out of the PT, they trying to get out of work, they trying to find a way to not deploy. So, as a leader, how do you, I guess, define where the line's at, and what do you do to ensure that you don't have people that are abusing, privileges or trying to get out of stuff? I mean, what did you see when you was in, right? How did you navigate as a leader in the Army when you knew you had troops that were like legitimately trying to get out of stuff, from the ones that are really had problems and are really trying to figure out how to make themselves healthy and how to get back to being 100% functional soldier, vice I'm just trying to get out of PT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was a squad leader, man, I was at 101 Military Police Company. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was easy to find out what my squad was trying to do. So we had open communication. You know what I'm saying? They told me everything.
There you go.
Sometimes I didn't want to know all the shit that they was talking to me about. Okay, let's be real across the board. Hey, man, sometimes soldiers get into some shit and you're like, hey, man, you shouldn't tell me that because I'm the person going to recommend that Article 15 for what you just did. But I gave them that open communication so that they can say exactly what was going on, how they felt, and to do it. So that's when it started, because I learned in Germany based off of some old head ops sergeants that I knew wasn't getting promoted, but they was keeping it real with you, talking about take care of yourself and always take care of your people. I was raised by the old school methods of your people and your sensitive items are the most important thing. Take care of them and make sure you bring them back home and make sure you have them accounted for. So you got to build that.
If you want to fix the sick call problem, I've solved it, dude. You ready? You can only go on Saturday.
Ouch.
I'm just saying, you got to know real quick if they really are sick, because you get the weekend off unless you're on duty. Like, hey, you can go to sick call. Sick call is open on Saturday.
Well, that ain't work for you for very long. Hey,
everybody at muster, bro. They'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm taking my weekend. Oh, you want to take the day off during the week though, right?
Nah, sick call. I wish sick call was open on Saturdays. They go to the ER on Sundays though. So hey, I've learned if there's no one coming in on Mondays, it's ER on Sundays. But hey, that's a stressful moment too, man. If you ever go to an ER and sit in there with about 100 people waiting in line, being routine, and don't get seen for 5 hours, that's worse than being sick. So
that's commitment to not going to work on Monday, bro. That's what it is.
But that's
so Marvin,
somewhere.
So Marvin, I guess like what I'm drawing from what you said, and I would 100% agree, right? So my transition out was the same way. Like me and Matt talked about it not too long ago. I was sitting in a pickup line for my daughter, and my wife looked at me and said, like, what's your plan? I was like, they're gonna hire me. I'm our hero, bro. I wasn't in the military. Like, they're going to be beating down my door. Don't worry about it. And then as I'm doing interviews for $14 an hour and $12 an hour, and they're like, hey, you're overqualified, or we don't want the military here because of how you guys operate. I'm like, man, this is mind blowing. But I think you're absolutely right when you nailed it. Starts with leadership, right? So how do you fix the problem? You educate your leaders and you train your leaders to be able to, like you just said, be transparent and be able to communicate, right? And know your people. If you don't know your people, then you don't know if they bullshitting you or not. That's the facts. If you don't take the time to get to know somebody's circumstance, where they came from, their situation, their family's needs, what's going on in their day-to-day lives. Like you said, we don't want to know all of it, but if you have a soldier or a sailor or a Marine that trusts you enough to come to you and say, man, I'm having family problems, or I'm having mental health problems, or I'm having these issues, as a leader, it starts there. So I think you educate and re-educate and continue to educate the leadership, right, at all levels, right? Whether it's a junior NCO to the senior NCOs, all the way up the chain, you educate these leaders to not just give a shit about what's on your chest and your next bump and your next bump in pay or your next whatever, your next promotion, but really genuinely care about the people, because at the end of the day, you ain't shit without the people that you serve. That's the true fact. Every ribbon on your chest was damn near earned by somebody else.
Yeah.
Care about your people and educate those leaders to identify when somebody needs help, right? So you have to continue to push leadership.
Yeah,
So the question comes though, real quick. Sorry. The question comes though, then, well, who's going to teach those leaders that? They got to listen to somebody, and it's not going to be somebody that's in that they got promoted because they went through.
I think
it might be us.
I think it's the veteran community.
Us?
I think it's the veteran community. I think we are a missed resource a lot of times. I don't think that, and Marvin nailed it, right? When you get out, and I remember, I thought when I got out, bro, people are going to call me. We're going to stay in touch. People forget all about you. Like you're nothing I don't say nothing, but you don't have that same, that same reach anymore.
Bro, you ain't walking into the command and khakis on Monday.
Or you're not. But nope. I think we are a lost resource, and we're an underutilized resource as veterans. I think they need to do a better job of taking a look at the veteran community, the Ty Cobbs of the veteran community. This guy's a wealth of knowledge. I talk shit, but if I have a problem or I want to know some shit about the VFW or about VA benefits or about a mortgage, this is the guy I call. I call him and I call Matt and say, hey, I'm doing this and I need help. And I have a veteran brother or battle buddy who's like, I got you. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what you need to do. But I think we're underutilized as veterans. And I think that whole we're the forgotten breed until it's fucking Memorial Day or Veterans Day or damn whatever. You got to utilize these veteran resources because we are the wealth of knowledge. Because you said it, Matt. The guy who's still on active duty, you can't tell me shit about how to transition. Your ass is sitting in the same uniform I'm sitting in on Monday morning.
Exactly.
I need the Marvin Locketts, the Ty Cobbs, the Matt Johnson, the Scott Blakes to be like, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Not trying to gain the system, but here's what you do to take care of yourself and your family, because nobody else is going to do it. Period.
Well, I look in the mirror all the time and I'm like, damn, I can't believe I thought that shit was good advice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I look back, I'm like, damn, he was still
go to this online task.
And I probably went to work like right after we talked. He's like, now go do that shit I told you to do. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I got you.
Crazy. Yeah. Now here's the second part of that one, right? The second part that we talked about is people are going to bang down the door to hire me for a job, right? Al talked about it. Marvin, you talked about it. I know that all of us have talked about it forever. So, I have tons of thoughts on this thing, but I'm interested, Marvin, from your perspective, tell me, when you look back on getting out, right? Like jokingly, you're like, 15 days was bad because I was trying to figure it out in 15 days. The truth, it was probably maybe the last 6 months is when we're kind of like, oh yeah, I'll go find a job now. It's going to be easy. I'm going to throw it out there. What do you wish that you would have done getting out that you think would have helped you a little bit better? Not medical, not VA, but we're talking like if you want to go get a job and get employment, because the VA and waiting for that to come back is good. And you got your retirement is good, but you said it, man, you had a baby, you had, preteens, you had all these mouths to feed. Like the responsibilities that you have didn't change the day that you got out in the Army. they were still there. If anything, from my perspective, they became more, there was more of a weight there than it was when you're in, because now you're like, oh no, it's not guaranteed in 2 weeks. I got to go make some shit happen, like for real. You know what I mean? So what do you feel you could have done better to prepare yourself to get out and get something?
I would have hoped to probably get some outside resources and start learning a little bit more. I mean, the Army, Department of Defense is doing a great job now on that soldier for life type concept when you're about to get out. And that's if you go, and that's if you pay attention, and that's if you're not on mission, right? I wish I would have made myself a priority, because I gave 20 something years to the military. And when it came time for me to pay attention to my stuff, I was still paying attention to missions instead of paying attention in class. Resume writing, learning to talk to those other places for resources that's outside of the military, because my job, it could have been something that was not military related and not a GS job.
Correct.
So, finally I got a veteran guy, I call him Pops, and he's one of my platoon sergeants. We deployed to Croatia and Bosnia. And then he ended up being a sergeant major. He was just like, hey man, he said, check it out. First thing he said is, hey, what you doing after 20? And I said, man, still going to be in the Army. He's like, they owe you half price. And then the second thing he said was, hey, so you prepared to go ahead and get that other job? You got a lot going on. So one, he was motivating me, but also keeping it real with me. I'm going to tell you right now, if I really would have done this a second time, I definitely would have spent my time in those classrooms that they gave me the opportunity and that time off. And I would have scrubbed everything military and just focused on me. And
yeah, that's true.
Soldiers, sailors, Marine, airmen, and I even hate to say it, space, what are they called? Not cadets.
Guardians.
Guardians. Okay. Yeah. I tell them all right now, hey,
dude, Space Force so wants to be Halo, the video game. It's freaking ridiculous. Guardians and
Guardians of the Galaxy.
None of y'all been in space. Called the space, whatever.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what though. Here's the problem. We go to join the military, right? You sit in front of the job counselor. The job counselor tells you the jobs that you can do. The biggest thing that I remember from joining the Navy is the one thing that I was looking at when I joined, and I noticed off the top is the same thing I talked about as a recruiter. Look at all that stuff on the right side. That's all the jobs that you can do when you get out that this job equates into, right? But the thing they don't tell you is you need to make sure you're marketable for those jobs, right? Mm-hmm. So just because it equates to that job doesn't mean you can do that job. And, me and Al, we work in a job where we hire people. Stop taking your evaluations and making them your resume. Yeah, like that, nobody speaks that language, right? What you need to do is, and that's why I'm glad you said what you said, Al, because what you need to do is you need to, like, if you're in, just take your ass into a VFW or an American Legion, find some old timers and be like, yo, I'm about to get out. Any of you guys know what I can do to write a resume, whatever. Somebody knows someone in there that can point you in the right direction, because all of our evals in the military to get promoted was about who?
You.
No, it was about everybody that worked with you that got you there. If you wrote the eval about you in the military, you wasn't getting promoted.
So,
you needed to put what Army, your team did, right?
No, in the Army, it's about us.
Oh, so the Navy's different. Your team has to perform. But when you get out, you have to brag about yourself or you ain't getting no job.
Well, I say all the time, a veteran, like I talk about the veteran world and veteran community, a veteran saved me because I didn't have a job. And I had like these little jobs that just didn't amount to shit. And it wasn't point A to point B, right? I was having a hard time. I hadn't got my disability yet. And a veteran reached out to me and said, hey, brother, I know you're looking for a job and you're struggling. My company's got this job. So another veteran, Gary, and I'll name drop him, Gary Walker, reached out and said, and I didn't think he even liked me that much. And he was like, hey, bro, I got a hookup. Like, do you want a job? And I was like, man, I'd love a career. Like, I'm tired of jobs. I'm tired of working for dollars and working with somebody else, right? And he was like, I got this company I work for. But another veteran is the one who reached out to me and said, hey, I got you. And he did. He brought me on and got me a job. I've been here for 3 years. And the company, I love working for the company I work for. I won't name drop the company because I don't want to get fired tomorrow morning, because then I'll be back from pennies. But at the end of the day, it was another.
Looking for another veteran handout. Let's go.
It was another veteran who was like, hey, bro, we're looking to hire. I think you have these skill sets and I think you would be good at this job. and I'll put my name on you if you're willing to come in here and go to work.
Yeah.
And I did. So it was a veteran. It wasn't my leadership. It wasn't somebody I knew. It was somebody I worked beside in a career. And he was like, I got you. So it was another veteran. So again, veterans helping veterans. That's kind of what I want to echo is.
But that's the thing. I would also encourage veterans that are out there, don't like reach out to the first organization that calls you to say, hey, you're getting out. Let me write your resume and all this other shit. All they're trying to do is they're trying to get you on their rolls so they can say when you go get a job after you did all the work that they wrote your resume and that's why you got it, so they can get more funding. What you need to do is just like call your friends, call the people that got out before you. Like, you know, we claim and talk all the time that we have a community of people and we serve together. And that means that we could walk in a room and anybody that we see, we're immediately going to be able to, you know, reach out to them and talk to them and relate to them. Well, then why don't you do that when you get out? And that's the thing is I see a lot of veterans when they get out because they lose that purpose. They go into that shell. And when you go into that shell and go away, you've taken yourself out of the thing you say you're the most comfortable in, right? And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard. But sometimes you need to walk into a VFW. And when you tell someone you're in the Navy, they say you ain't shit. Because now you're like, oh, what? And then you guys can start talking trash again because now you feel comfortable. But the point to that is you hit it on the nail on the head, Marvin. You gotta drop the military a little bit. You know, like what we did and what we learned is great. But the civilian world is different. You need to understand that too. You can't just walk in and lead the way you did in the military. It's effective in the military. But when you get out, there's a little more of a caressing touch to how you should lead people because their mentality, the way they do things, their feelings, the way they take shit, it's so much different than when you were in. You can't really be honest with people. I found you can't tell them what you really think because then they're going to be like, oh, that's biased against me. But like, well, I was just saying like what I can see, and they're like, you know, so you gotta remember, you know, when your wife asks you questions. And you're like, yep. It's not always yep, right?
Lie.
So you gotta think that when you're going to these job interviews.
Lie a lot.
Whatever.
So Marvin, question for you, Marvin. So
what's up, brother?
I know you said it was tough in the beginning. How long did it like when you got out, like how long did it take you before you actually got your feet up under you and you got them legs back? How long was your transition till you finally found your niche or you found what you have now or whatever it is, right? Your job, or did you bounce from a couple of different jobs or did you find what you were looking for relatively shortly after you got out? How long did you get your legs back under you?
Hey, once I stopped worrying about it and just started focusing on doing what I need to do for myself, hey man, the interviews started popping off. I remember I took a trip on my motorcycle across country to the West Coast because I was like, I'm just gonna leave Missouri a little bit, not even worry about it. So I got on my scoot, man, head to Washington State, took a few trips, detours, and I had this call, and I was like, who's calling me while I'm on a bike? So I pulled over, and it was some guy who's like, hey, I want to interview you for a job in South Carolina, you know, for a SARC job. And I said, oh shit, like, wow. I said, when's the interview? He said, tomorrow. So, you know, once that happened, and I was like, man, I am marketable and people do want me, but it might take time depending on what I'm applying for them to get back to me. My first job, once I left the military, actually, I double dipped actually for about a whole month. I double dipped. I went to Miami, Florida, to Southcom because they hired me to be a sexual assault response coordinator for them down there.
I was going to ask you. So you said SARC. Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, I'm an instructor to teach SARCs and victim advocates now.
So what? So for our listeners and people that are going to watch, people who don't know outside the military, what is a SARC counselor and what is a victim advocate? What exactly do you do and what is your job entail?
All right. So for a sexual assault response coordinator, that is the manager of a program to protect people in terms of response, prevention, training, and program management. They are coordinating all the assets and resources to ensure that we can either prevent sexual violence like sexual harassment, sexual assault, or we can deter or handle a situation like respond to it and do it with care and comfort based off that individual who's gone through a traumatic event. A victim advocate is the same thing, just more of a lower level, like a sergeant to a specialist, you know, a team leader to a driver.
All right, they do the same job. Just the one has a little bit more responsibilities to the commander and systems. So if you think about it on an everyday basis, they're out there just trying to gauge the heartbeat of an organization, making sure that people aren't being sexually harassed, sexually assaulted. And if they are, they jump in to try to figure out some conflict resolution or investigations to help with that, or get that person a report so that they can get justice and or at least hold somebody accountable of what they have done to them. So that's what they do.
We call them sappers. So I think
same thing.
I was a sapper. So Matt
same thing.
I think that the deal is your civilian instructors being that program manager, the ones that there, and the thing that I like about the way the military does it is they have the advocates, because they become more of your peer that you can go to and talk to, that is like somebody that's in your command, but they don't really work with you. So you have in some cases, 6, 7, 8 different people that you could call. They all do the same job, but it doesn't have to be someone that knows what you do and where you work and all that every day. And it helps you get some of that anonymity towards reporting if that's what you want. So the way they have the program set up is great. It's it helps more than it doesn't, because we all know that's the most underreported thing ever. People just don't talk about it. So
yeah, and then definitely part of that is making sure that you don't, when you're carrying the victim through the process, make sure you're not re-victimizing the victim of them having to report or whatever. That's that was one of the most fulfilling and probably best courses I ever did in the military.
It was one of the hardest for me, Ty. I remember going through that course, and it was almost gut wrenching to watch
the role playing you have to do during that.
The role play, and then to watch an actual the rape kit, what goes on, how for these victims, what goes on just to get a kit done, and what they have to go through. It was tough. It was a rewarding course, and I did it at the schoolhouse for a couple of years, but it was tough. I don't know. I mean, it's admirable, Marvin, that you do that for a living, because that's
Marvin.
tough.
You having any issues with the cutbacks with the government right now?
Yeah, we had an ask.
So man, with these cutbacks, you got a lot of situations ongoing in the Department of Defense, Department of Army. Right now, we as sharp professionals, as we call ourselves, sexual harassment, assault response and prevention professionals, we haven't had any cutbacks. It hasn't come our direction. It's going more towards those diversity, equality, and inclusion folks that work in that when it comes to EO and EEO type things. But I think we have to wait for them to get some decisions made by, of course, the other branches of the government, because even though executive says, I don't want this, you still have to go through legislative, and then you still have to make sure it's legally legit based off of Supreme Court. And then we make things a policy. We can't just go off of exec orders. We can't go off of memos. We can't go off rants. If you hinder the reporting capabilities and or douse the voice of sapper professionals or sharp professionals, you're going to hurt United States Armed Forces as a whole. And once you take away that ability to be able to help people, it's going to get worse. People are going to start taking stuff into their own hands.
100%.
Yep.
100% agree.
Yep. So that's a crazy program to be a part of, especially, at first everybody wanted to volunteer for the program because it was new, and they were like, I'm gonna get promoted. They went to that school, like Al said, and you were like, wait.
Yeah, it's tough.
Wait, hold on.
It's not easy.
I would tell you that doing the sapper program in the Navy, and this is not a comparison that's I'm comparing the two directly, but having to go through a case like that with a victim of a sapper case, you could even delineate that to doing a KCO where you got to go through that whole process, because they're similar but completely different, because like Ty just said, reliving things and going through them again,
it's
that
tough.
is the hardest thing to do. And
we deal with it now, Matt. We deal with it now. Think about us just in any veteran who's been in combat. The last thing you want to go do is talk about it, right? I talk to Ty a lot about stuff I've dealt with, but the last thing I want to do is go sit down with somebody and relive any of the combat trauma, right? I don't want to live that again every day. And that's how it was in the military, right? You go to a counselor, they switched your counselor. Now I got some ensign coming in, All right, tell me
And
about
can't
the
nobody
story.
read
You're
the
like,
notes.
bro.
Now we got to do this all the way.
Read my file. I got to start back from fresh. So for what Marvin's doing is way different.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is different.
That
and
is
it's hard.
It's very emotional. It's very intimate. It's an intimate situation where you're putting people.
Well, I think the best part of that program, the people that do it the best, Marvin, tell me what you think about this. The best people in those programs that are advocates or they're part of the program are the ones that have the ability and the willingness to sit down and just be completely honest with the person that's coming to them, to tell them, this is what we're about to go through. This is what's going to happen. I need you to be prepared, instead of just going, oh, it's going to be okay. Right. Like really telling them, like, here's your options, right? You can be anonymous. You can go, you can have it investigated. You can do these different things, but really listening in the course and understanding, and then breaking it down for them so they understand what's coming, because you have to build some level of trust in order to do that. Because again, like, most of the people don't even want to approach somebody anyway. And then when you have one person that messes it up, that's where you get to that point, Mark, where you've now hampered the ability to help a whole bunch of people, because now the program's not trusted. So I found when I was in the program, the guys and girls that were like willing to, like, all in, there's nothing but all in. You're not halfway in or halfway out. So
yeah, you got to be transparent. Got to be transparent.
Before we move on, I want to give a shout out. We got Sarah Cobb in the building. Want to give a shout out.
What's up, Sarah Cobb?
What's up? The most beautiful woman on the planet. Also, I want to really give a shout out to Tony Chavez. So I don't know if she's the first time she's watched our show, but I've known her for a long time. She is like family. But let me tell you a little bit about her real quick, because she is like I don't know, a legend in the chief world, because she was the first. I don't remember what her rate was. Forgive me, Tony, for butchering it. But whatever job she had in the Navy, she was the first in that rate to make chief as a female in that rate.
Right on.
So yeah, pretty awesome to just say I know her, right? So
legendary.
She is legendary.
She's phenomenal.
Chief Tony Chavez, legendary. Anyways, I'm sorry to bring up the conversation.
You're good, man.
I've seen her pop in, and I haven't seen her in years. We talk every now and then, but I ain't seen her in many moons. She was a chief's chief and a leader's leader.
Oh,
right?
GM, so, G.
She was a GM, yeah. So she was the first female GM chief in her.
She said, "Not chief, bro."
I don't know what she was in, but she was famous. You know what, Tony? Fuck it, you were GM famous. Chief. Okay, yeah.
Gunners make gunner, probably.
GMG. So yeah. She was famous, but she was a leader's leader. When you talk about like leadership in the military, chiefs and just leaders, bro, I watched her go head to head with some commanding officers, and just she was that one that you needed some help, bro. She had your back for sure. So
light it up.
Shout out, Tony. Love you, girl.
So what other things are you involved with? I know, you do the program there, DODY, but what kind of things are you involved outside of that? There's got to be something else that takes up the time. I know for all of us, we find other things to jump into. So
yeah. So I'm an avid bike rider, man. I ride my scoot everywhere. Like I say, life behind bars. So I get out there, man. But while I'm doing that, I'm also feeding the homeless, trying to reach back to those individuals that don't have it as lucky as me. All right. So I do what I can. I raise money for them. I get gift cards in the winter, because as you know, just because you give $1 or $2 to a homeless person on the street, doesn't mean they can actually go into the restaurants and buy food because of how they look. So I give them gift cards, and you give them a gift card that is 100%. They can't reject them. They have to give them whatever they want out of that store, and that lets them get warm. But I do the homeless thing. I do guest speaking. I guest speak about all the social issues we got, whether it be how law enforcement treating people in their neighborhoods, how people in the neighborhoods treat law enforcement. I talk to young women about how they to grow up to self-love themselves and not have to depend on other people to feel that love. I guess speaks about sexual violence all the time, social issues. I do it all because at the end of the day, I found my niche on my way out, and then how I speak to people, and I'm honest and candid. I like to have fun. I like to smile. I like to joke a little bit, and it opens people up. So I go talk to colleges, their freshman classes, their sports, individuals, all the sports in one room, and we talked about stuff very candid, like consent. What does consent look like to you, and what's it look like to me? And then we really dig deep into it, just so I can change their hearts. It's all about learning. It's all about sharing. It's all about growing. Hey, if you can't change people, if you don't know how to talk to people, you can't relay a message to improve somebody, you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing on this earth. That's what you're here for. You here for yourself. That's automatically going to happen, but you should be reaching back to other people. I do that for the most part on my extra time, besides being a soccer coach, a basketball coach.
Yeah, you coaching beautiful kids and ugly kids. I hear it. You got the beautiful kids and you got them ugly kids.
The next time you come on here, I want to see both team pictures side by side. We're gonna test this theory.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
My theory is sound.
He's gonna be like, "Why are all the same kids in both pictures?" Because all my kids play all sports. What you talking about?
Marvin, what kind of bike do you ride?
I ride a Harley Davidson Road Glide Special 2015. Has 168,000 miles on it right now.
So I see you. I follow you on social media, so I love following you. I share a lot of your stuff. Are you actually out there running with that flag? Are you running with that flag every? Like, I'm just like, damn, man, that flag. I was a guy down in boot camp because I was a little guy, and them flags ain't light, bro. That wind gets a whipping. And I see you running with a flag. Are you actually running with that flag every time you run?
It is a full blown, not one of the ones you hang at your house. It is actual a storm regulation flag that I have on a wooden flagpole, and I run with that flag every. Matter of fact, for the past 6 years, every month I used to do a half marathon. Now I do a half marathon every week. I do one on Saturdays, just to make sure people realize, that it's such a beautiful thing to see. It's still going to be there regardless of whatever bad, good, or indifferent things are going on. People stop on the side of the road. Sometimes they're giving me stuff that really I can't really have at the moment. Like, they'll stop me and say, "Here's a hot cocoa because it's really cold out here." Because I do it in the snow, I do it in rainstorms. It doesn't matter. If that day hits, I'm running. But people stop me and they always ask me questions. Well, why? Why are you doing it? Well, I'm doing it for all those veterans out there. I'm doing it for the people in this community to see this flag and let them know, hey, look, I don't care what is going on in your life. Hey, this ain't really the blame. It's usually a person who's to blame, not the flag, not the country.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we do have a problem in our country. We don't like to identify problems. But you know what? I still think we still have a very good country in which we can raise our kids and benefit ourselves in terms of moving forward, as long as we take the actions needed and don't take no for an answer. So yeah, I run with it all the time. Ultra marathons, 30 miles plus. I go up mountains in snowstorms just so I can do it. Some guy took a picture of me up there, and then at the top he was like, "Why?" And I said, and I'm looking at him like, "Motherfucker, you're up here too. It was a snowstorm. How'd you get up here?
Why?
He drove.
So it's to bring hope, man. Hope is to show my love for our country. It's a true patriot shit.
There you go. So you're on the team. You're coming with us to New York for 9/11. We're going to the Tunnel for Towers 5K, right down the route. You're coming. We got to go with you. We get to run with you in the flag. You
let me know what date y'all showing up, and then I'll show up. I will be with my flag and everything else. I even bring my son.
Has the Airbnb plans, so he's gonna get the Airbnb, and then you bring the flag, and then me and Ty, and we're just gonna show up.
First of all,
it sounds good.
You don't know how to spell Airbnb? He's like, "Is it a Hilton? We ain't going there then."
I'll use my points. I got some points. We can use the points. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but yeah, for real. We had the great Kim DeLorenzo on the podcast from Tunnels to Towers down here in Texas. She's from New York, and she's invited us to come up to run the 5K with the Tunnels to Towers Foundation in September. Marvin with us.
Marvin, you're coming, bro.
Yeah, you got to come, man. You got to bring that flag. You got to come. We're all going to go up there. We might make a badass T-shirt to go run this thing in, and a few people are out there. Make sure you wear the T-shirt. That's the best one that's being sold this year. That would be the Matt Johnson T-shirt. It's a 5K, dude. 3 miles. You could walk that.
It's like 3.2, 3.3.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna ask Marvin because you don't fucking know. Yeah. So I was going to ask. So that was my
Yeah.
next question. So I was going to switch gears and ask. So Marvin and Ty, I want to know. It's hard to say it. I want to know about the
ain't hard.
Ty Cobb Mo Dickum stick. Your
I'm
name's
not
on it.
sure if Lockett remembers it necessarily.
Your name's
You
on
see
that
his
stick,
reaction? He
Marvin.
remembers that, Dickum.
Your
remembers
name
it.
I
is
remember
on
it.
that stick, bro. And
It's on that stick.
Ty was holding off till you got
Yeah.
on to tell the
Hold on,
story
hold on.
about this stick.
Let me show this little video.
Okay, here we go.
There it is.
Yeah. So there's the video. We got 4 people that were.
Damn, Lock,
Fine.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
on there.
sure he was getting ready to leave at that time. So
Yeah.
He said, "I'm gone."
Yeah. I got this stick out in the back 40 during Sunfield. It might have been that Winter X that we were out there. I don't remember when I got it. At some point I got it, and we had such a camaraderie in our company, in the motor pool especially. Like every week I would stand there like Moses with this stick, and I would shake everybody's hand as they came in for motor stable classes or whatever after we had formation. And the indomitable spirit that was the 101st MP company just exemplifies everything that we've kind of talked about.
Yeah.
Taking care of your people, knowing your people, knowing how to push some buttons on the people so that they, will do the best possible thing they can, and then afterwards taking care of them. So, yeah, that's kind of the it's not a big story, but like the thing about it is like to this day, when some of those young officers, those second lieutenants that I think I was a corporal or maybe a specialist at the time. I don't think I quite made sergeant, but they still say Mo Dickum to me. Like people would say Mo Dickum when I saluted them, and it became like a battle cry, man, because everybody knew it was funny. But the funny part is that Sergeant Favors, how the Mo Dickum came about was Sergeant Favors was doing some vocabulary words. He was a commo NCOIC at 101st MP Company. He was doing some vocabulary words, and we were helping him with his college class. Shout out to Sergeant Favors. He's the one that actually got me to enroll.
Yeah, you're welcome for the degree. I get it.
The Army U, yes. To this day, the Army U program. But we were helping him study and going through the words, and he said Mo Dickum. And I'm like, you mean Modicum? Like a Modicum.
Like bitch. Got it.
A small amount of success.
Oh, I thought you were talking Spanish. My bad. Sorry.
No, just a
Fucking
small
Modicum.
Of success, small quantity of something. Yeah. And so he said Mo Dickum, and I was just like Mo Dickum, and then that's all it was. It was just one little word, and I carried it for fucking years.
So when you guys went on deployment before you went on a mission, did everybody stand in a circle and go, we're going to give him Mo Dickum?
If you were in the 101st MP company, and I'll tell you a funny story. You remember Mac Verdi that was on here?
Yeah.
Yes.
He had an issue that happened with a Mark 19. I won't say what it was because I don't know if he told this story, but there was an issue that like he fired his Mark 19 somewhere and something blew up. But as we were getting the brief and the talk, a little second lieutenant, I can't remember her name, and then another second lieutenant named Jessica Donkers. When they salute, they say Mo Dickum. So we're deployed downrange in Iraq.
Do you hear the names you're saying while you're talking about Mo Dickum? Donkers, Dickum. What are we doing?
Hey.
We know what y'all did. Y'all wasn't planning missions. Y'all was coming up with cool ass shit to say.
Marvin Lockett signed that stick. That's what I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I'll tell you, man, I wasn't too, as I call, sharp-defied back in the day. But I'll tell you, man, hey, I used to definitely hang out with the people, man. That it was just all about us at the end of the day. It was 101 versus everybody, and we bonded together, we banded together, and we had fun. So stuff like that stick, that was just the tip of the iceberg. There was all kind of stuff that we were into that, some people would say good, bad, and different. But you know what? Hey, you mess with one of us, you messed with all of us. Period, point blank. So
yeah, there were plenty of times where, Locke talked about people committing suicide. One of my squad leaders in Iraq committed suicide, but before that, we would take a fifth of vodka on a ruck march, put it in the ruck march, do a 6-mile ruck march out, drink some vodka, and then, fuck around and do a 6-mile ruck march back. So, we had fun, but we took care of business. It was a band of brothers for sure. But there's no real big story to the Mo Dickum stick. It was just funny.
That's pretty good. Now, that's a pretty good story.
It is good.
Marvin, so tell us your favorite 101st story. Well, you got to have one. What's your most favorite memorable time in that unit?
Oh, geez.
I'm going to ask Ty next. I want to hear Ty's story next, but I want to hear yours. What's your favorite story from the 101st?
Man, oh, dude. Damn. Hey, well, okay.
Or craziest. If you either one, your favorite or your craziest.
The craziest one is when I was an E5 squad leader there, and I finally was in charge of a squad. We went to JRTC, man. Now there's a ton of them. I can tell you stories for days, but this one time is the craziest one. I used to always wonder where the freaking kids was going on the weekends, right? I was like, hey, where y'all going? So we get to JRTC, we parked all the vehicles next to each other. I say, hey man, hey, be honest with me. Where the hell y'all be at? They said, oh, we be in our rooms. And that's when I found out about the shit that was going on in our barracks in 101 in terms of cats. Hey, like, so it was, I was like, hold up, we got urinalysis. So y'all can't be, so they would put towels under the door. There was a lot of some of them cats was doing drugs, everything else. And they were open about it. They said, yeah, you know, I need it. And I never, back then I was too young to understand that sometimes the things was happening. But man, when we got back, dude, I realized that we was a wilder bunch than usual, especially after they told me everything that's going on. I had to try to get them help, but it didn't just go my squad. It was like people in platoons, people in our freaking ops. So me punching through windows downstairs over a girl, that was crazy. And guess what? I didn't even get an Article 15. I didn't have to pay for shit. Hey, the commander was just like, don't do it again. Like, that's just how it was.
He was going to place them windows anyway. They was busted. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Hey, I beat up a sergeant he outranked me after the club at the dirty carpet, as we used to call it, down 41 Alpha. Okay. Hey, I still remember his name was Sergeant White. Bucket. I remember him. Sergeant White. He drove a car that had wigwags put in the front of his personal car. And he got caught by CID or caught by local police driving it off post, trying to impress people. Well, one day he got back, man, and he was talking reckless out his mouth. And dude, let me let you know something. I wasn't having it. Man, I wore his ass out in between the 716th company and our barracks, right in the middle. Man, I beat the dog crap out of that man. Hey, I think everybody in the company knew it too. And you know what? We just didn't care. Hey, at the end of the day, two people had a problem. We solved the problem and we moved on about our day. But that was crazy.
There you go.
Awesome. What you got, Ty?
Man, I got so many 101st MP stories. So I mean, a quick one was we did we were the 101st MP company, direct support for all the brigades, and then general support for the division. So we ran the division EPW cage during Iraq in 2003. So in order to do that, they had to bring a bunch of the general officers, a bunch of people from Fort Leonard Wood to come out and make sure the cage kickers, make sure that we knew what we were doing when we were messing around with the EPW cage. So we set all that up. We're out there, made a small miracle happen. All these things had to come together in order for it to happen. And then it happened. And then, General Frakely came out there. I think he was the 1-star at the time, landed his Black Hawk right in the middle of the field. And me and Captain Corbacero, who was the commander at the time, were out there just, assuming guidance and bringing them in. So, that was a small miracle for the company minus that we had out there doing that exercise, and just the fulfillment that we had from like getting, basically, I think we ended up winning like the ForceCom Eagle Award or something that same kind of year. So we did a lot of really good stuff. But I think my favorite, so that was great in Garrison, but my favorite story is the day Uday and Kusei were killed. I was in the 101st MP company, and I worked with the Provost Marshal office. So once Special Forces found him out there, they put up the bulletin, and everybody just wanted to be a part of it. And since we were MPs, we did an outer cordon, and I was a commo guy at the time, 25 uniform. So I'm walking around with, at the time it was Major Zink, and we're walking around like, 500-600 yards away, and they're getting ready to shoot some tow missiles into it. And one of these vehicles didn't have a radio that was working. So I'm in there fixing the radio, get the feel in. And as soon as I get out, I walk away, they start firing tow missiles. So that was the coolest shit I've ever seen. I'd never been around a tow missile before. So, and they shot it right into that fucking building. And after
as you're playing with cryptophile, you're like,
yeah, it was 22 July, I think 2003, maybe 22 July, I think it was. But yeah, that was the craziest shit, because all the things that we had trained for in the 101st MP company, all the ruck marches, all the stuff Sergeant Clark put us through, as a head quarters element.
So
we had our platoons back, and we did what we needed to do. So
it wasn't you, Ty, but I remember the only interaction I had with Army commo guys is they sent me to the comm shack to get some crypto, get the shit for the pluggers. And I walked in, I don't know. I'm like, hey, I need these pluggers. And this fucking Army guy looked at me and said, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm Petty Officer Al Hero. And I was told, hey,
sorry.
No, she's good. I don't want to wash my mouth though. But I was like, I'm Al Hero. I'm Albert Hero. I'm a petty officer with Cert 3. And I was sitting here and they were like, dude was like, yeah, we don't just give out. Like I was so shocked. He was like, I don't know if they briefed you. I'm just gonna hand you these plugger systems and you're just gonna walk out of here. I said, so I was like, yeah, the fuck you are. And he was like, you need to get the fuck out of this shop before you get your ass kicked. You know what I did? I turned around and was like, don't want my ass kicked by this big ass Army commo fucking team. And I walked back and I remember talking to Gunny. Was like, hey Gunny, he told me to get the fuck out of his shop. And he was like, well, what'd you say? I was like, I'm here to pick up.
Okay.
I said, here to pick up these pluggers. And he was like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I told him. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't care. The Army didn't give a shit who I was. I said, petty officer. And I said it with like authority. I'm Petty Officer Hero. I'm here to pick up these pluggers. He was like, get the fuck
what in the hell is a petty officer?
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
The Army, I thought, because I had been saluted so much in Korea when I was a third class,
yeah.
It looks like a full bird. And I'd be at the ATM getting saluted, all the Army guys, like, they're like, dude, you're the youngest colonel I've ever seen. I'm like, bro, you outranked me, motherfucker, but okay. But I promise you, that Army dude was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Petty Officer Hero. He was like, you can get the fuck up out of here before you toe to ass with him back to wherever you came from. And I walked back, I was like, Gunny, I didn't get the pluggers. Sorry.
That's so funny.
Fucking Army assholes. Y'all were not playing, bro. Like, I'm here for the pluggers, bro. They're like, I don't know you.
Yeah, they immediately were like, who is messing with us today?
I didn't have no paper. I had no
all
paperwork.
The people. That's like trying to go get an ID 10T form. You know what I mean?
I didn't have a name tag on my uniform. I didn't have no ID card. Just some random dude. I look at my beard. I look like Bin Laden's little brother already. They were like,
and I'll go ahead and say it now, but man, I gave ComSec to so many people that just came up to me in Iraq and Afghanistan. They're just like, hey, can I get the field? You know, that's what they say. Can I get the field? Hell yeah.
See, but he came in trying to be proper.
No one briefed
That's what the problem was.
No one briefed me on, can I get the field?
Yo, let me get some of that. They'd be like, oh shit, you're supposed to get that then.
Can I get the plugger? They're like,
you came in a little bit wrong. You didn't know the lingo.
Yeah, lingo.
You came in super proper.
Hey,
like this dude must be in the Air Force. What are we doing right now?
Looking like somebody's interpreter. I look like the interpreter. Like they were like, who the fuck is bro? That way. I was like, Gunny, bad news. I know we got to go, but that Army guy told me he was going to kick my ass.
What'd the Gunny tell you after? What'd he say?
He said he'll take care of it.
And then he came back. This is all you had to do.
Hey,
I don't know.
Then he came back with all the stuff we needed. I was like, what'd you say? He was like,
I just walked in the door.
He probably
That's
was
all
like,
I need to do.
I just needed the feel. And they were like, oh, I got you, Gunny. that little short bald little dude, don't send him back here because he's going to get beat up.
The Gunny probably walked in with like, hey, I sent my idiot in here 5 minutes ago, but I need that feel. Hook me up. They were like, oh, that was your guy. We're like, yeah, that's my guy.
That proper guy. It was that proper guy.
Marvin, you know, bro, they ain't teach me that shit, bro. In the Navy, they was like, the brief. I didn't get the brief. Anyway.
There you go.
So Marvin, what you got going on new, bro?
Hey,
man. What's next for you?
What's next, man? I'm gonna get back into some colleges, man, to do some actual be an instructor. Or actual, hold on, let me correct myself. A professor.
Shit, Professor Lockett.
Yeah,
look, you see how much Al's smiling when you said that like that. He's like, damn, he proper too.
Hey, I'm going to his school. I'm about to get my degree. I'm Professor Lockett.
Yeah, instructor is Army, professor is civilian. So I've learned.
Okay,
I've learned it, right? Also, man, hey, I'm watching my kids grow, bro. Hey, family, making memories. My daughter graduates basic training in 2 days. I'm here for family day right now.
Yeah, what's her MOS?
She's a 13 series. So she wanted they gave her like a something outrageous bonus. And then she was like, oh, I'll do it. So she went 13 series. So she's going to 4th seal, man. Okay. I said, hey, you know what? Do you? Hey, as long as you got a plan, I support you. But I think her plan is actually pretty solid. When she shared it with me, she said, I'll do that job and then I'll reclass and then I'll become a nurse that I want because I already got half of it. And then she's going to move on. So I'm happy about that. I get my son. He's in competitive soccer now, and he's a freaking beast. And he's handsome.
Yeah, I know he was. I knew it when you said soccer. I already knew, bro. You didn't say nothing. We knew. He's
also the point guard, bro. Don't be talking trash.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he is the forward in basketball.
Yeah, but he plays soccer. He's beautiful. Like
he'll be the
only one.
His soccer is his big thing, and then of course the other 2 kids, man, they graduate high school this year. So really, I only got 1 kid that's going to be in the house, and this little 10-year-old who turns 11 next month. So. Hey man, I'm just enjoying family time because when I die, man, the memories I'm making is the only things they're going to remember. I can go out and do whatever the hell I want to do. If it's not a memory with them, it don't matter.
Well said.
Hey, brother, let me tell you. So I knew from the minute that I asked you to sub in last time that it was going to be a great interview, and I knew this was going to be great. Let me just tell you. I told you earlier today in a text, you know me, I'm kind of a very sentimental dude. Mm-hmm. I've kept this stick in my garage for the last, 20-something years. And I just brought it in once we found it. Yeah, Mo Dickum, that's for sure. And that's the thing is like, I never looked at it as being a dirty thing. It was the Sergeant Favors mispronouncing Modicone.
Listen, bro, you said Mo Dickum to some sailors. It's fucking over from there, dude.
Yeah, that's
it's over.
Well, I'm sure that's what everybody else took it to. But here's what I'll say. Over we knew each other in 2002, 2003, and then, after that, we went our separate ways. But I remember your spirit. I remember your smile. I remember what it was like. I remember how you made me feel when I talked to you. And those things I will treasure forever. And that's why I always follow all your stuff and wish you well. And anytime you want to come on this program, absolutely.
Just let me know something, Kyle. Hey, brother, man, we've been family since forever, man. It'll never end. I don't give a fuck how long it takes for us to get back in contact. Hey, we can end up chopping it up just like it was yesterday. Hey, we got to learn that, guess what, man? Hey, even though we part ways doesn't mean the relationship stopped. It just means that, hey, at that moment, you got things going, I got things going. Hey, man, I'm honored to have been on you guys' show, on your podcast. I think this is great. It shares good information. It has good conversations, and you get to have fun and laugh. And you never know what laughter does to a person and how it can pick them up if they're on having a bad day. So I'm telling you right now, man, you all of you, and the other brother that ain't on here right now, all of y'all are awesome. Keep doing what you do. Keep helping veterans move forward so that they can be beneficial in this country and help their families get the rewards that they deserve. Keep doing y'all.
Appreciate you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvin Lockett. We'll catch you soon, man.
All right, man. You guys have a good one, brother.
All right, take it easy. Marvin Lockett.
Right. Bro, I love that dude. I so love Marvin. Dude, I'm telling you what, like, if I had a spirit animal, it'd be Marvin Lockett. I'm just saying.
Here's the question, though. Which shirt is he buying? We know it's mine, dude.
Oh, he'll probably buy all 4.
Nope. He's going to get 4 of mine. Don't worry about it.
So I've already, just wait till my commercial comes out, bro. Ain't nobody buying y'all shit at all.
I've heard
just look, we're going to keep plugging this thing because, it's super fun for us. It's going to be a good time when I beat y'all's ass at selling these t-shirts. But honestly, for everybody out there, we're about to try to raise some money to help a veteran organization or a nonprofit that benefits our communities, your communities. It's going to help somebody. So, even if you want to use it as your dust and rag in your house, you should still buy one because the money's going to go to a good cause. So be on the lookout. Apparently, the start of Al Hero's phenomenal OnlyFans career is coming out of this commercial, I think.
Oh, it's coming.
And oh God. And then there they are. There's the designs. We all wanted to make something that was right for us, and We wanted you guys to be a part of that. So we just can't wait for you guys to see them, buy them, and, support. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm excited. So those videos are due to you by like the next 2 days, right? Because we're starting it on the 1st.
No,
I mean, we're starting on the
first.
first. We're starting on the first, but this thing called the freeze inhabited the mail getting to Hero. So I think his Speedo and his T-shirt is both in the same place. Nothing. Don't worry about it. They're both in the same place. They got stuck in the same. They got stuck in the same delivery truck.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No. All right. So what do we got coming up here? Future guests next week.
Coming?
Who's this? There.
Hey, we're getting naked next week.
Getting naked.
Yeah. Yeah, getting naked. So this is William Brannon, man. This dude he's an entrepreneur. He's a former Navy SEAL. The dude has the company you can see on there with Naked Warrior Recovery. He has his own podcast, and he lives in Hawaii. So who wouldn't want to do that? He'll be joining us next week and talking about all these things that he's involved in that helps veterans, man. It's pretty cool. I've talked to him another time in the past, and so it's going to be a good conversation for sure.
Nice.
All right. Let's hear. I got the politics. Hey, big shout out to Jamie Wells for being on the show last week. He's commented a lot on the posts that we put up, and he said, I forget exactly what he said. I think he said the election was announced. So we should hear something pretty soon with Florida District 3.
Boom. Oh, don't even get into this shit.
This is a rough week. It's a rough week America. For me, bro. Oh, rough week for me, bro.
Buffalo Bills lost to KC, and Washington lost to the Eagles.
Before we move screens,
okay,
can we please talk about how is it the Kansas City Chiefs keep winning these games, dude? I know they're a good football team. Don't get me wrong.
They're not better than everybody else.
They're a good football team, but every single call goes their way, dude. Two people catch a ball, it hits the ground, Kansas City's ball. Well, Josh Allen basically jumps over the first down line, fourth down. What are we doing?
That call right there, I saw like after the fact, they showed a different angle, and it looks like he made it over. But the interception that came down,
it should probably have been an incomplete pass.
No. The tie goes to the offensive player. It's in the rule book. That absolutely.
We're not running middle school races. Tie. What are we doing?
Tie goes to the runner in baseball. Tie goes to the offensive player in a catch. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Allen made that one first down. But
look, hey, if your name's Josh Allen,
calls because you make good plays.
Boo!
Are you a Kansas City Chiefs fan?
No, I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, man.
Then why would you be?
Did you hear my new coach? Duval.
Yeah, dude, bro. I'm sad.
The whitest white bread wonder ad bread.
Duval, that guy, he hurt my heart with his Duval.
Yeah, my nuts went back into my chest a little bit when I heard that. He needs to grow up.
I said when he said that shit, when I went to the bathroom, I sat down and pee. I sat down. Sit down. Just saying.
Okay, let's go. Let's get it over with.
0-2 for Daddy.
Right, Jesus, it was horrible, dude.
All right, so what this means is that since Al and Matt went 0-2 and Scott went 1-1, I went 2-0, but it don't matter because I'm 8-9. That means Scott is in the lead right now. For we got one more game left, so it could still be a tie, or Scott Blake is probably going to win.
Listen, I just feel like we keep finding ways for people other than the guy on the podcast named Matt fucking Johnson to win something, dude. I finally was like, I'm good. And then all of a sudden, it's like, no, we still got more games to pick. I'm like, what are we doing? I get it. It's all good. No, I get it. I get it.
Tied then.
No, we're not tied. Obviously, we're not tied.
You were tied when we chose the two other games.
Oh,
this is bullshit.
Hey. That's the way it is. Make the plays, you'll get the good calls.
Worst case scenario, I'm losing. Wow. It don't really matter. Oh, shit. Tie off this fucking top rope. Little WWF action here.
All right, so Super Bowl. We don't have to pick this one this week. We can wait.
Philadelphia.
Scott, okay.
Oh, sorry. Put me down.
I went ahead. I'm choosing Kansas City.
Fuck Kansas City. Philadelphia.
Okay, so
dude, I hope all the Philadelphia fans show up to New Orleans and tar the fucking light poles so they can't climb them bitches and they just go to town.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, in Philly, when the Eagles and the Phillies, when they tar the light poles, so they can't climb up them bitches. Like they slick them up.
What did they tell me at work today? Kelly Green. I'm pulling Kelly Green over. I'm buying a hoodie and a damn ball cap.
Are you?
Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm supporting Philadelphia all the way for this row win.
Okay, I want Philly to win.
I'm back on Jackson. I'm back on the Jacksonville, but
I'm not buying a hoodie and a shirt just for the Super Bowl. Well, maybe.
I'm also the guy who bought. Let me say, we're having me today, Ty, and I can't. I'll show you in a minute. So I thought I was buying a popcorn machine for my daughter, a small popcorn machine, like a little machine to pop popcorn for like movie night. It would be awesome. Well, I ordered a popcorn machine, and I ordered apparently my wife called me and was like, "Hey, come out here and get this box. It's too heavy to move." I'm like, "What the fuck is it?" I look, it's a popcorn machine, and the box is pretty big. I'm like, it's got to be a lot of styrofoam in that box. Gotta be. There's no way. I move the box inside, open it up, and here's what I've got. Let me just share the popcorn machine that I bought. Yeah, it's an industrial popcorn machine. So I'm going to have popcorn for days, probably weeks.
That's funny.
That's good. That's a gift that keeps on giving right there.
Yeah, I guess. Go Eagles.
Go
Birds.
Hey, I'm not trying to talk shit to you right now, but pot on the stove with oil and kernels, that shows how old you are. You've not done it like that since the 80s, baby. Actually, that's how I used to do that too. You have to shake it.
Bro, you remember the Jiffy Pop that you put on the stove and then it would just pop the popcorn
from the movie Scream, the original Scream.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now they put them in freaking bags and shit. What's
my girl, I'm not doing bags. My girl Tony bought one too. And this is like the one in the Chiefs mess in Noru. And I didn't mean to buy. I thought like a little machine for my daughter. It'd be cute.
I think it's hilarious that you're like, there's a lot of styrofoam in there, and everyone's like, "You're an idiot." Dude.
Oh, my wife said. She said, "Hey, dumbass, look at the corners of this box. It's the top of the popcorn machine." I was like, nah.
It's red styrofoam.
There's a lot of styrofoam. There's a lot of styrofoam in this box. I pulled that bitch out. No, it's a popcorn machine. So when Scott says,
"Look, that is true. Fire pit nights." There you go.
You already know, girl. In fact, Tony, the next fire pit night, you coming over. We doing it.
Well, that seems about good to wrap it up. I was gonna go make some popcorn and show everybody that machine works.
You're really picking Philadelphia?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm really picking KC then.
Wow.
I just making sure that was y'all's pick.
Why does it matter, dude?
We'll get Scott's pick.
You're 8-9.
Philly because he hates Kansas City, but we'll just see what he says.
And I don't want to.
No, he's going to go Kansas City because he wants to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I hope they lose. Man, listen. I just cannot imagine how this shit's going to go if they win a third in a row. It's going to be unbearable, dude.
It's already unbearable.
They're going to start saying Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. Taylor Swift saved the NFL. It's going to be everywhere, dude. I just need the Eagles to do the Nick Foles job and just get it done. You know what I mean? Y'all did see Nick Foles is the one that gave the trophy out after the NFC Championship game. That was pretty cool.
Whatever.
That was pretty funny, though.
Fuck Kansas City.
I mean, how you really feel? Matt, what you got before we get, or Al, what you got before we get out of here?
So I just want to say, hey, to all my veteran brothers out there, hey, listen, life is tough, and we've all been dealt some tough hands, but guess what? You don't have to live in that moment. You can move past it. You can get help. You can talk to another veteran. You can reach out to organizations. But at the end of the day, don't stay where you're at. Keep moving forward and keep fighting, right? There's never a day when the battle's over, right? We're going to keep fighting every day. So don't give up. Like I always say, don't pet the sweaty stuff. Pet the sweaty stuff.
Don't sweat the petty stuff.
Don't sweat the petty stuff. Yeah, fuck it. Don't sweat the petty stuff.
Just make sure that shit's not sweaty when you're touching it.
Hey, don't sweat the petty stuff. Pet the sweaty stuff all day, every day.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, brother. I was just gonna say, I just appreciate everybody that joins in every week. All the people that are on there. I did want to say, Byron Brown, I saw you on there. Shout out to you, my friend. Thanks for being a part of it. Just, wife and kids, I love you guys. And I'm glad to be able to do this every week. Come back talk to us, see us, see the people that we're helping, and listen to the stories that we're telling. I really want everybody to understand, if you got a story to tell, you need to reach out to us, right? Reach out to us, triplethreatvets@gmail.com. You can reach us there. You can tell us you got a story to share, and we'll talk about getting you on here, because what's important is that everybody shares stories of success and how we were able to make it through. So thank you, everybody. SameFlagSameOath.com. That's where the t-shirt's going to be February the 1st. But again, don't forget, there are other t-shirts on there you can buy right now. So go do that too. But see you guys next week.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, our guy, Scott Blake Scott, DJ Royalty, the high tizzle for shizzle, is not here this week, but he'll be back next week. And until then, we'll see you. Hey, it just says some of these military stories may be a little bit in the back of your mind, but those friendships, they absolutely never die. So just like Pat McAfee says, be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might save their life.